Hey, Money Masters. It's good to see you all. Hope that you guys are having an amazing week. We're back with another episode of the Wealth Seed, actually, episode 40. And so we thank God we've got 40 episodes in the books. Today, what we're going to be talking about is I'm going to be giving you some investing tips, right? For um, economically volatile times, right? What's a little wisdom that can be shared when it comes to investing during these times? So that's what we're going to be talking about as our main topic for today. But of course, y'all know we're going to have our crazy money story first. So, just before we get to that, let me know who you are, where you're watching from. I always love to acknowledge those who take the time out to watch the show. And we are, okay, I wanted to make sure that I could see comments. Hello, Brother Maycott. Good to see you. So yeah, take time to say hello so that I can acknowledge you. Feel free to ask questions, all of those good things. Hey, Gwen, good to see you. And so let's dig into our crazy money story for today. So, how many of you out there love food? How many of you out there love food? Now, honestly speaking, I love food. I actually love to try new foods, right? So I don't love it in the sense that, oh, I just want to eat it all day or nothing like that. But I like to try new foods. And so our crazy money story today is about foods, but it's about the most expensive meals in the world. I'm giving you the top 10, okay? The most expensive meals in the world. And as I go through these, I want y'all to let me know if you would put one of these, maybe on a bucket list, or maybe one time in your life indulge in one of these meals, right? So number 10 is Kyoto Kicho Arashiyama. Arashiyama. Yeah, like I'm gonna mess up these, pronunciations, right? But anyway, this is in Kyoto, Japan, and they have this dish that I just tried to name, probably butchered it, costs $588.56 per person. So no, this is not the cost for a table of four or a table of six or two. This is for one person. Okay. Now, you're not going to leave hungry, not at all, because this meal has 10 courses. Listen, I know some people who can eat a lot. My children eat a lot, right? But I don't know who out there. Let me know. Do you know somebody who can eat 10 courses? Is this you? Can you eat 10 courses? This meal has 10 courses. Okay. So it features rounds of sashimi, grilled and steamed food, rice, pickled vegetables, dessert, and that's just to name a few, right? Okay. Number 9, Restaurant Guy Savoy Monet. This is in Paris. Okay. And it sells for $690.01. So it says the chef Guy Savoy opened the restaurant in 2015. It overlooks the Louvre and the Pont Neuf. Currently, the Parisian restaurant offers a prefix menu of up to 13 courses. All right. So if 10 courses wasn't enough for you, maybe 13 courses will be enough for you. Okay. And then they say that this price does not include drinks. Okay. It does not include drinks. However, you're going to enjoy duck and lobster and artichoke soup, black truffles, in addition to other delightful dishes. Now, one has to wonder, like, the serving size must be really small. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong because I don't know who can sit and eat 13 courses. This is just crazy, right? All right, number 8, masa. This is in New York, okay? $750. Listen, are y'all hearing me? Would y'all spend this much on a meal? And I don't know because we may say, "Oh no, I would not do that," but sometimes we say this thinking out of our own pockets, right? So let me ask it this way: if money were issue, no issue at all, would you spend at least one time in your life $750 or more on a meal, right? So this dish, like I said, this is in New York. Um, they have spicy tuna roll is one of the most popular late night takeout orders, all that kind of stuff. It's just crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. It says that price too does not include tax or drinks. None of these that I have mentioned so far, none of them include tax or drinks. All right, then there's the ultraviolet in Shanghai, which ranges from, they give you a range, $580 to $872. Okay, this is the number 7 most expensive meal in the world. So they give you a multi-sensory dining experience. Okay. And so I guess that's, part of what the price is, but then also 20-course meal, people, a 20-course meal that comes with theme music for every course. Okay, so not just theme music, just in general, there is theme music for every course and light shows, y'all. Light shows. So Gwen says, if I could afford it, I might try an expensive meal at least once. I'm with you, Gwen. I would. I know some people be like, it's a waste of money. But if money were no issue, um, yeah, I might just once. You know what I'm saying? If I'm already living completely off of my ROI, I don't have major responsibilities financially like that. Yeah, I might do that, right? Anyway. Serendipity 3, this is also in New York. They have a golden opulence sundae, a sundae, y'all, that is $1,000. That's just a sundae. Okay, so this is not like the ones that we talked about before that has 10 courses, 13 courses, 20 courses. No, this is just one dessert, one sundae, right? So Tahitian vanilla ice cream made with Madagascar vanilla bean, okay, covered in 24 karat gold leaf. What? It's covered in 24 karat gold leaf. Specialty chocolates, Parisian candied fruits, truffles, caviar, and more. So maybe it's worth this $1,000. I don't know. I'm a lover of ice cream, and I will, do some things once or a couple times in my life. But this one, I don't know. I have to think about $1,000 for a sundae. Whew. Wow. All right. Number five. Sublimotion. Okay. So they have locations in Dubai, and Ibiza. I think that's how you pronounce that. So dinner per person is around $2,000. Okay. Per person. Like I said, this is not a group table. This is not, it's $2,000. This is not even for, how you go to galas sometimes in fundraisers and things will be real expensive. But the point is not that you're paying for the meal. The point is that you're contributing to the cause, right? This ain't that. It's just a meal that's $2,000. Okay. So you get a 3-hour dining experience. All right. And they say it's not your typical dining experience. It's sort of like ultraviolet, what I mentioned before with the light show and all that kind of stuff, just a bit more expensive. Okay. So they say they create a spectacle for the eyes, for the ears, and for the taste buds. And a gastronomic performance, music and art combined. That's interesting. Oh my goodness, that's it. $2,000. All right, let's keep it moving. Number 4 is Norma's in New York. The $1,000,000 lobster frittata, which is $1,000. $1,000. Okay, now it says it may look out of place on their menu because I imagine most of their items are not expensive like that. In fact, it says that their items are typically in the $30 range. And then they got this $1,000,000 lobster frittata. That's $1,000, right? So it says that it's an omelet, I guess, includes 10 ounces of caviar, which there you have it. That's the big factor in the price, right? Anytime you say caviar, it's going to be expensive. So on to the next. Number 3, Um, the Netherlands, the Daltons, I believe is the name of the restaurant. They have what they call the Golden Boy Burger. Now, hold on to your seats. Hold on to your seats. This burger costs $5,532.79. Yeah, you heard me right. You're like, what kind of cow? What in the world? Why $5,532.79? So it says you're not going to find beef patties that live up to the caliber of Chef Robert Jean Duveen at your neighborhood burger chain. Yeah, if you are charging over $5,000 for a burger, yeah, you better have the best of the best cows in the whole entire universe. Okay. um, so anyway, it's made with 100% Wagyu. Is that how you pronounce that? I don't know nothing about meats either. Wagyu A5 meat, as well as beluga caviar. There we go. King crab, Spanish paleta, white truffle, English cheddar. $5,000, y'all. $5,532. All right, number two, Renato Viola. This is in Salerno, Italy, and it is their pizza, Louis the 13th pizza. Louis the 13th pizza. All right, hold on to y'all seats. If you thought 5,500 was a lot for a burger, this pizza costs $9,184.32. Now, I'm going to have to tell y'all, like, I don't know. I don't know. You never know what you will do until you're in that place, right? But I don't know. 10,000 to drop 10,000 on some pizza? Man, I do not know. But they say the pizza is anything but ordinary. Okay. It has sophisticated toppings like mozzarella, bufala, lobster, caviar. They're all flown in from different parts of the world. And to top it off, it's served with Remy Martin cognac, okay, Louis the 13th, and Champagne Cru du Mesnil. Now, y'all already know I didn't butcher that up. Mesnil, somebody. This is that, and that wine, that champagne is 1995. So, I don't know nothing about all that stuff. Somebody watching this be like, she have no idea. But anyway, $9,184 for that pizza, y'all. All right. That brings us to number one. All right. Let me know in the comments what you think that this number one meal, the cost of this number one meal. What do you think? Okay, so we have gone from $600 all the way to $9,184. So what do you think this number one meal costs? Drop it in the chat. I'll wait a couple seconds and then I'm going to go ahead and tell you all the number one most expensive meal, at least according to this list. The number one most expensive meal in the world. Hello, if you're just joining us, we are just about wrapping up our crazy money story. We're going to get into the topic for today. Today, the crazy money story is about the 10 most expensive meals in the world. Okay, so we are at number one. We've gone from 10 to number one. The meal started at around $600-700, and then we got to number two, which was the $9,000 meal. Now we are at number one, and I have asked the people, what do they think this number one meal would cost? All right, I've given you enough time, I think, to drop your answers in the chat. So let's hit it. The Fortress Resort and Spa, which is in Sri Lanka. Gwendolyn says 20,000. All right, so they have this meal called the Fortress Stilt Fisherman Indulgence. It is nearly $15,000. So a little bit on, you were a little bit on the upside, Gwen, but not far off. Okay, so $15,000. It costs nearly $15,000. So if you would rather take that $15,000, again, if you got debt to pay or retirement you need to beef up on, I may not be doing this, but if money were no issue, maybe you'll take this $15,000 and spend it on this. And this isn't even a meal. I think this is just a dessert. It's a dessert. So it's made on special request. You have to request it at least 24 hours in advance. And the dessert features Italian cassata flavored with Irish cream and is served with a pomegranate and mango compote. The base is a champagne sabayon. Listen, I don't know, y'all. I don't be knowing about all the how to pronounce all that stuff, right? Adorned with an 80 carat aquamarine stone, okay, that's placed beneath a handcrafted chocolate stilt fisherman. Yeah, all that. Okay, so there's our crazy money story. The 10 most expensive meals in the world. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. Let's now get to our topic for the day. Hello, Miss Samia. Hey, Treese. Good to see you. Good to see you. Congratulations on all of your accomplishments and such this far, and your feature on Channel 8 News there in Indianapolis. So let's get to our topic for the day, which is we're talking about, I'm going to be giving you all some investing tips. Okay. I have 9 of them, investing tips for volatile times, right? Now, oh, Brother Maycock says, I'm a veggies person. My grandfather can eat it all. Oh, you talking about all those courses? Yeah. Oh my goodness. I don't know. I think I have an uncle who maybe not at this time, but in his younger days, he probably could have eaten all of that. Hey, Rashard, good to see you. Good to see y'all. Okay, so let's talk about these tips for investing in volatile times, right? The truth of the matter is, let me just dispel it now, right? The truth of the matter is, the tips don't really change. Not if you're a real investor and you understand investing. The tips don't really change. So let's go through them. Number one, first of all, you want to embrace calculated risk, okay? So in investing period, there are a lot of people who are very nervous about investing. So whether in volatile times or whether in good times, it doesn't matter. There are people who are very nervous about investing, right? And they kind of they feel like, I don't know, it's kind of risky. I'm just going to hold on to what I got, right? So a good investor knows and understand that you embrace calculated risk. Okay, so it's not just this willy-nilly risk. And in fact, if you think about it, we take risk all day, every day. Okay, if you're in my Money Mastery for Her group, many of you have businesses, or even wherever you're watching this from, a lot of people have businesses. When you started that business, you took a risk. You didn't know if it was going to be successful or not. If you're just starting right now, you have no idea if it's going to be successful or not, right? It's a risk. Okay. So, how do you mitigate the risk when you open a business? Well, you might get some business coaching. You might, learn how to get great at marketing. There's all of these different things. You're going to have a strategy, a business plan. There's all of these different things you can do, right? And so investing is the same thing. You want to take calculated risk. And so there are things that you can do to help you take calculated risk, which all of the rest of these tips are going to fall neatly under that, right? So number one, embrace calculated risk. So which basically means that, I'm going to study the thing. I'm going to get all the information, that I can on it, research it, see that it makes sense, all of these different things, right? So I'm going to embrace calculated risk. Number 2, do not invest more than you're willing to lose. Okay. Do not invest your mortgage note. Do not invest your car note. Do not invest things. Don't invest that stuff. When you invest, the money that you are taking to invest should be, okay, money that is free and clear. It should be money that you don't need back tomorrow. Okay. Even if it is something, even if you are investing in something that is, that has a daily return. And yes, those things do exist. There are things that you can invest in that have a daily return, right? Even if it has a daily return, don't take money that is obligated to other things and invest with. Okay. Take money above and beyond those things. And so you might be thinking, well, Lexi, that just counts me out of investing because, whatever reason I'm in paycheck to paycheck, I got slim amounts of money left over after all of that stuff. Well, there are things that you can do, right, to help you with that. If you all have been following my posts on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn, yesterday I gave out a great secret that will help you with that. Okay, so go and check that out. All right, so don't invest more than you're willing to lose. Okay, never invest more than you're willing to lose, because can I share something with you? You will lose at some point. Okay. It's just part of what I call the money game. All right. And it's just part of life, right? You go to school for 12 years. At some point during that time, you may have gotten a C or an F or a D, right? At some point, right? At some point, you lose. Okay. So, um, that's just life. Okay. So don't invest more than you're willing to lose. All right. Number 3, diversification is very important. Diversification is very important. There's that old saying, don't take all your eggs and put them in one basket. Okay. Don't ever do that when you're investing. Okay. You want to spread that stuff out. Okay. So, how can you diversify? Well, you can diversify by asset class, right? So you can invest in paper assets, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, those types of things. Um, that's one asset class, okay? Paper assets. You can invest in real estate, okay? So have some money in stocks, bond, and paper assets. Have some money in real estate. You can have some money in alternative investments, crypto, art, commodities, okay, alternative investments. You can invest in business, okay, whether you start your own business or whether you are investing in other businesses for return. So you want to diversify, not all your eggs in one basket. And the other thing is, you also want to diversify within the asset class, okay? When you can. Now, sometimes when you're just starting out, obviously you may not be able to go put money in everything, right? So you start where you can, but the goal is to diversify, right? So now also you're diversified across the asset classes, but you also want to diversify within the asset classes. So let's go back to paper assets. Sure, I may be invested in some individual stock, but I should also be invested in mutual funds, which is a bundle of stocks, different stocks. Okay. I may also do trading, right? I can trade stocks, I can trade options, I can trade, diversify within the asset class. Real estate, same thing, right? Maybe I do flips, but I also do tax liens. Or maybe I don't really want to be involved with real estate like that, but I want to invest in the industry. So I do a real estate investment trust, okay? A REIT, REIT. So you want to diversify within the asset class, okay? Same in the crypto space, okay? Maybe I'm invested in a couple of individual coins. Maybe I'm invested in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, right? Individually. But also, maybe I trade, right? And I can do that actively or passively, right? Or maybe I'm invested in a hedge fund that is made up of crypto, right? Or the other alternative investments. Okay, so there's diversification across assets, and then there is diversification within assets. All right, drop a 1 in the chat if you're with me, if you're understanding what I'm saying, right? And if you have questions, hey, feel free to put it in the chat, right? I love things to be interactive if we can. It's rough just talking out to this little camera hole. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm talking to y'all. Y'all can see me. I can't see y'all, right? But drop a 1 in the chat if you understand what I'm talking about in terms of diversification across asset classes and um, within the asset classes. Okay. That is huge. Okay. Whether times are volatile or not. Okay. You want to diversify. All right. All right. All right. Let's go. Next one. All right. I see you're number one, Cherie. Good to see you today. How are you? All right. The next one, number 4, when you invest, you want to retrieve your principal as soon as possible. Okay. First of all, what is your principal? It is the amount that you started the investment account with. Okay. So let's say that you opened a I don't know, let's just say you opened a crypto trading, it's passive. Okay. So that means that the trading is being done for you, but you started that account with $500. Okay. And they say, okay, you're going to make a return each week, right? Whatever that return is, 1%, 3%, whatever that return is, but you make a return every week. Okay. The moment that you hit $1,000, then you want to take your 500 out. Okay. That seed money, that principal, you take it out and continue to let the other 500 do its thing. Right. So that if for some reason there is loss, okay, at least you have what you started with. Okay. A lot of people will subscribe to that. Some people don't. They just be like, I'm gonna put it in there. If I lose it, I lose it. Whatever. I'm not worried about taking it back out. If I lose it, I lose it. Because back to number 2, I don't invest more than I'm willing to lose. Right? Okay. Someone said, oh, that's good. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So retrieve your principal. Okay. That's my recommendation, and that'll help you feel a little bit better. Right? How do you get the compound interest if you take it out? So what happens is, I mean, you won't, because you're taking your seed money back out, but the growth, okay, so remember, you put 500 in, it grew it compounded until another 500 was made. So you have a total of 1,000 in there. So you take the 500 out that you started with. It's not that 500 isn't going to compound anymore, right? But the 500 that's remaining, you let it continue to compound. Then you take the 500 you took out, your seed money, your principal, and you can invest in something else. You can put it back in a bank, whatever the case may be. I'd say invest in something else, right? Always have your money working for you. That is, when you look at wealthy people, their money is always working for them. They use this term called cash broke, right? Meaning they don't really have much cash on hand because their money is always out working for them. Okay. All right. So, number 5, don't make investment decisions with your emotions. Okay. Keep your emotions at bay. This is the problem as a whole when it comes to investing, and then what you end up hearing on the news, right? Because most people who are invested are not savvy investors at all. They are average people like you and I, but they have not taken the time to understand how markets work, right? So let's just talk about something very recent. About 3 days ago, the government sued Binance. Okay. They sued Binance. I'm not going to get into all the particulars because that's not what this is about. Binance, for those of you who may not know, is in the crypto space. We'll leave it there. I'm trying not to go down all these trails. All right. So they sued Binance. So that would cause a little nervousness for the average person in the crypto market. The very next day, the government sued Coinbase. Okay. So another huge exchange in the crypto space that already now, so now there's a little bit more nervousness. What? Yesterday, Binance just got sued. Now, today is Coinbase. Who is it tomorrow? So people who are not savvy in the market will just say, oh my goodness, what? Let me go pull all my money out. All right. So what happens when people run to pull all their money out? Okay. Same thing that happened with the banks earlier this year. The three major banks that closed. Okay. And all these other little banks that y'all ain't hearing about, they just being taken over by big banks. It's the same thing. Okay. So what happened to them? People found out they were having some problems. What happened? They ran into the banks to go and pull their monies out all at once. And what happens when that happens to a company? They go down. Okay, because banks are just companies. If you own a company, the bank is a company, like your company and my company. And if people come and pull all their resources out, what happens? It's going down, right? So the same with the market. People get nervous because the news is talking about, oh, look at what happened. Da, 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 da. So people get scared and they make decisions out of fear. And they run and they say, oh, I'm going to pull all my money out of the market. And so what happens? The prices tank. Okay. The prices drop. Okay. So then you got the price drop that was caused by the people running to pull all their stuff out. And if you hadn't pulled your stuff out yet, but you look and you see the prices drop and the value of your portfolio drops significantly, which happened last year, by the way, for all of those of you who had your 401ks and all that stuff, dropped significantly, did it? Because the whole market was, 2022. Anyway, so people get afraid. So they're like, oh, this ain't working. Let me pull my money out, right? And then they go put it back in the bank, and it never makes what it needs to make, right? They just lost forever. If you put it in the bank and leave it there, you lose too if you take it out and put it back in, take it out and take it, trying to time the market. Oh, it's bad. Let me take it out. Oh, the market is good. Let me put it in. That's not how you win in investing. But here's the thing. Wealthy folks know that when all this news is going on, they know the average person is going to go in there and take all their money out. They know it. They're sitting and they're waiting on it. Why are they waiting on it? Anybody want to take a guess? Why are they waiting on it? They are waiting on it because when that price drops, they can go in and they can buy up all the shares that you sold. They're just gonna buy them up, buy them up, buy them up, buy them up. And guess what happens? Okay, so they get that stuff at a good price and they hold on to it. And when the market goes back up, guess what happens? They hit big time. They hit big time, right? So they know this. They know the average investor is going to keep making decisions based on emotions. Okay, so that's one example, right? You can also make decisions based on greed. So let's say you made an investment, that investment is doing well. Like it's doing really well. Okay. You're getting more than what you expected. So you decide, you know what? I'm all in. I'm going to put everything I got. I'm going to put it in. I'm going to scrap my plan, right? I never mind. I'm not taking my principal out. I'm going to, because before you go in, you should have a plan. We're going to talk about that. So you scrap the plan because you get greedy, right? And so that will land you in some trouble as well. That will land you some losses as well. Okay. So we can't be led by emotions. Do not make investment decisions on emotions. Okay. I don't care what the emotion is, whether it's a good one or a bad one. Do not make investment decisions based on emotion. All right. Number 6, which I had already alluded to in number 5, is to have a plan. Anytime you invest, you should have a plan. You shouldn't go in just saying, okay, here, I don't have a plan, no plan. No, what is the plan for that investment? How does it fit into your overall financial strategy? What purpose is it serving? What is the goal for that? Is it long term? Is it short term? Is it for income now, or is it for retirement later down the line, or no, it's for income, but I want to use it to, the income that I make from that to pay the bills at my house. Like, what is the plan? What is your plan? Okay. Because come on, y'all. This is in every area of life. If you go into something without a plan, what happens? What do you think happens? What do you think happens? This is just any area in life. Scrap investing, right? If you get into something without a plan, what happens? Y'all drop it in the chat. I'm waiting for y'all to answer me. I'm waiting for y'all to answer me. I need to know if y'all still alive out there, right? What happens? What happens? What happens when you do anything without a plan? A lot can happen, right? A lot can happen. You can fail, which failure isn't always a bad thing. You can end up somewhere you didn't intend on being, right? There's a lot can happen when you don't have a plan. Okay. And we're not saying just because you had that your plan is always going to go to the T, but have a plan, right? Have a plan. This way you're not distracted by anything, right? And then you won't be led to make any decisions out of emotion either because you have a plan, right? So always have a plan. When I work with my clients and they're like, I want to invest, not sure where to start or what to do or whatever, we do a lot of upfront work and they might be thinking, gosh, I just want to invest already. We're not doing that, at least not with me. If you just want to invest already, go see any old other financial advisor. They'll happily take your money and just invest and don't care, right? Because you don't care, right? But the people I work with, I care. Okay. We gonna make sure you have a plan before you invest, right? And that doesn't mean things are gonna go perfectly. It doesn't mean that, but it helps you, in the process of investing, and it helps you to learn, like, okay, well, what kind of investments should I be looking at, right? Because if you're looking at, I want to make current income, then you can't go investing in types of investments that are long-term strategies, right? So you got to have a plan. All right, number 7, don't get greedy. Stick to the plan. I'm not going to stay long there because I already mentioned this a couple times up, right? So don't get greedy. Stick to your plan. Once you have a plan, stick to it, okay? Now, should you reevaluate your plan every now and then? Sure. You should reevaluate your plan every now and then based on the investment. If it's for current income or long term or whatever, you will reevaluate at certain times. Okay. Could be quarterly, could be twice a year, could be yearly, whatever. Okay. But don't get greedy. Stick to the plan. Number 8, perspective is everything. Okay. Even when you lose in investment, even when you lose, because that's the risk we take, right? Go back to number 2, don't invest more than you're willing to lose. Even if you lose, you win. You have to have the right perspective. If you're going to become a savvy investor, if you're going to become one who masters their money, if you're going to become one who is able to multiply what God has given you, right, so that you can do some other things, your perspective is everything. So when you lose, the perspective is, even when I lose, I win. Now, I'm not just saying that, right? It's the truth. Even when you lose, you win. Why? Because there are lessons that you learn. There are lessons that you learn, okay? And the lessons are invaluable, okay? They're invaluable. The other piece is, we don't own none of this money anyhow. God owns all the money, okay? And so if he gave you the ability to get it before, he'll give you the ability to get it again. Now, we're talking about going back to number 1, calculated risk, right? Now, God ain't going to support no foolishness. Let's just be clear, okay? He ain't going to support your foolishness, right? But calculated risk. Calculated risk, okay? Your motives, your intentions, and all of that. If you happen to lose, God owns it all anyway. It was never yours to begin with. He will give you the ability to get it again. Okay? So even when you lose, you win. It is not the end of the earth if you lose sometimes in investing. Okay? So, you know, people might say, well, tell that to somebody who lost a cool million. Listen, even as kingdom believers, what is a million to God? And I always say, well, that's easy for us to say because we haven't lost a million, right? So, yeah, we can say that. But typically, people who lose a million probably have a couple more million. I'm going to just put it like that. Okay, typically. All right. So we keep these things in perspective. If you lose 500, right? Think about it. Some of us just waste $500 now. You can probably sit and over the last 2 weeks, think about how you tricked off $500, right? Or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, however long it took, right? So we are oftentimes, investing in things that don't yield us any kind of return. No kind of return, right? But then we're afraid of the things that can yield us a return. So perspective is everything. All right. Number 9, my final tip. Y'all still with me? Huh? Drop a 1 in the chat if these tips are making sense to you, if they're helping you. Drop a 1 in the chat. All right. Number 9, final tip for today. Because those of you who've been following me for a long time, you know that we build wealth over here. We build wealth God's way. Okay. So number 9 is remember kingdom when you make a profit. The reason God has given you the ability to create wealth is so that you can expand the kingdom, whatever that means. Okay. There are a lot of kingdom projects you can support. There are lots of things that I'll leave it at that. A lot of kingdom projects that you can support. Okay. There may be kingdom projects that you lead. All right. But when you profit, remember kingdom, because that's what God gives us the resource of money for anyway. He gives it to us so that we can sustain ourselves and our families. He gives it to us so that we can help others. He gives it to us so that we can fund our purpose, right? And what is our purpose? Collectively or individually, our purpose is to expand the kingdom of God. Individually, how you do it may look different from how I do it. Okay. This is the space that I choose to do it in, right? Helping people to master their money. For you, it could be something different. But both of us, ultimately, what are we working for? To win souls for the kingdom. That's what we're working for. Helping people to do this thing God's way. That's why God gives you the ability to produce, then to take what you produce and to multiply. So when you profit, remember the kingdom, right? Reinvest in the kingdom, okay? Because it's not just about tithing. If it were just about tithing, y'all, so many people would be rich. If it were just about tithing. Tithing is surface on the top of the surface on top of the surface. Like it's really, it's not even scratching the first layer. Okay. Because 100% of it belongs to God. So you returning that 10%, that's just, okay. Right. But what are you doing with the 90? God wants you to multiply it. And why does he want you to multiply it? Right. So that you can dominate in the kingdom. Okay. So I hope that this has been helpful for you all. Those are the 9. I'm going to run through them really fast again. Number 1, embrace calculated risk. Number 2, do not invest more than you're willing to lose. Number 3, diversify. Number 4, retrieve your principal. Number 5, keep your emotions at bay. Number 6, have a plan. Number 7, don't get greedy. Number 8, perspective is everything. And number 9, remember the kingdom. All right. So hope that you guys have enjoyed those tips today. Let me know there in the comments what you think about all that. Hey, Cheryl, good to see you. Let me know in the comments what you think about those tips, and let me share with you guys what's going on. So what is going on? If you are not yet a part of my Facebook group, Money Mastery for Her, what you waiting on? Join the group, right? Join the group. That's where the stuff gets good. Okay, so join the group. All right. If you have never had a complimentary consultation with me before, you can do so by going to calendly.com/purposeful Lexi /30 minutes. Okay. Take a screenshot if you need to. It's quicker, I think, than trying to write it down. And I may be taking it off the screen here in just a second. But let's have a 30-minute conversation so that we can talk about where you are in your finances, where you're trying to go, and whether or not we can work together to assist you in getting that done, right? Then, hey, our merch, we've got merch. I always, not always, but oftentimes I forget to announce the fact that we have merch, right? So kingdomeconomicswear.live/shop. Okay, I'm wearing one today, which says, I don't know if you can see it, but it says changing the face of wealth. And then there are some others with various different sayings. You can get t-shirts, you can get a couple of like exercise type gears, totes. So yeah, go shop, right? And the proceeds from that, just so you all know, I have a missions arm to my business. So we are taking 15 missionaries to Kenya in September. And we're going to go and serve the people, right? We're going to teach and preach, but we're also going to meet physical needs, right? So we have projects where we're going to be providing sanitary napkins. We're going to be providing Crocs and socks. We're going to be providing iron sheets for roofing for this for one of the mission stations. And there's a water project that we are also going to be giving funds for so that they can continue to make the infrastructure to bring fresh water to a village. So yeah, you can support by buying merch, or you can support by just donating to the mission trip, right? And this is the link, I believe, to donate for the mission trip. I believe that's the right link. Okay, so y'all screenshot that if you want to donate. $1 equals $138.90 in Kenyan shillings. Can you believe it? So no matter how small your donation is or how big, it's going to go very, very far. All right. And I haven't mentioned this in a long time, but we still do have our digital smart TV network, Lexi TV. And so there's the website for that. You can check out the content that's on there. Or maybe you are a podcaster or a TV, you have some sort of show. You're fairly new in the space and you want some global exposure, because we are in all countries except 2. So yeah, hit me up. We can talk about it. All right. So that's what's going on. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Thursday. We'll be back next week with another episode of The Wealth Seed. God bless. See y'all next time. Bye.